Welcome back to the Aligned in Action podcast. I am so excited for this episode as this is our first ever guest episode, and not just any guest, but someone who's played a huge role in my own expansion and whose work has impacted so many women building aligned and wildly successful businesses. Today, I am joined by Evie Dawson, business and mindset mentor, personal branding expert, and the queen of energetics and embodiment in business. We're going to be diving into her personal story, the bold moves that she's made, and the practices that have guided her to success, and as well as the mindset and energy work behind the scenes. So, whether you are navigating a shift in your business or you're scaling to the next level, this one's going to be gold. Evie, I am so excited to have you. So, to start off, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the work that you do?
Hi, well, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited. I am a business mentor, really for the multi-dimensional, chaotic woman. That's how I describe it. It's like I am the coach for somebody who has 1,000 notes apps, 1,000 notebooks, a load of ideas, but just lacks that ability to build it into a brand that people love to buy from because you have tried to fit it into a niche for so long, right? Like you've tried to fit it into a strategy or a step by step and tried to conform to other people's ways of growing their business. And so the thing that I am so obsessed with is helping women turn their voice, turn their genius into the thing that makes them money. Because, like yourself, you know that you were hiding behind a niche that didn't feel aligned for such a long time because there was a part of you that was afraid of letting that loose. And the fulfillment that you now feel, in contrast to how you did feel, is exponential. And that is the thing that will build your brand to millions because of that passion and fire behind it. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Yeah, what Evie's saying. It's crazy because I feel like I've only been in your world since January. Now it's April. Only been in your world since
Oh my
January.
God.
And the changes and expansions that I have seen have been absolutely insane. Like, I started this podcast after a call that we had in January. If it wasn't for
I
Evie,
can't
this
believe
podcast
that.
probably wouldn't exist, or it would probably take me much longer to do. So Evie is, yeah, gold, and I cannot wait to really pick your brains and see how things work behind the scenes. So I actually want us to go back to the very start. How did you get into the online business world and what led you to starting your own business?
This is such a great question. So, I have always been a very business entrepreneurial person. When I was younger, literally would I bought a domain name with my full name on it. When I was maybe like 12, I had a business, sold jewelry, I shipped it to influencers. I just sent it in a little white envelope with a stamp on it, and then they would like hassle me that they've had to pay the postage fee from the postman because it was too heavy. And I've always just been so heavily into business, personal development, and honestly just having my own money. I found it the most incredible, exciting thing in the whole entire world. When I went to uni, so I studied marketing at uni, like always been a business girly, love business, love all the psychology behind purchasing. I then went ahead and did my PT qualifications, set up a fitness coaching brand. And if I am really honest, the thing I loved most about it was like the business side of things. It was being able to take somebody from a place where they didn't know me to paying me from around the world. And I remember being so amazed that somebody would want to pay me without ever seeing me in person, or somebody would want to pay me because they followed along my journey that I just shared for fun. And that blew me away, and that really started the obsession with like, oh no, this is so much bigger. This is so much bigger than just earning a little bit of money. This is creating a movement. And I scaled my fitness business really fast. I had a team, we had clients around the world. It was incredible. It was such a huge mission and movement. But it got to a point where I was like, wait, I have a lot of fitness clients right now who are business owners, and all we talk about is business. All we talk about is their mindset. All we talk about is growth and expansion. And it really hit me that I was doing them and myself a disservice by not going all in on that passion. And that's really why I'm so truly passionate about this, because the longer you hold back from doing what you actually want to do, the longer you will keep getting the same results that you don't really want. Because there is a part of you in the shadows that is waiting to come out. And from our own fears, our own worries, we not only don't allow ourselves to evolve into that level, but also our clients, right? Like for you, had I not had the courage to do it when I did, you wouldn't be here recording this podcast today. Like you might be in a completely different spot. And I think of all of my mentors who had to have that courage, who had to have that fearlessness, who had to be so bold and so convicted, even amidst that fear. But that is the very thing that makes them the leaders that they are. So when it comes to what got me into this world, it really was just a relentless hunger. And for a little bit of time, I actually was like, my branding was really around like ease and flow and da 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 da. But I love work. I love working. I love going for it. I love being on. I love being on fire. I will do work on my birthday because I love it. And as soon as I stopped making that mean something bad about me, and started leaning into it of like, no, like I am crazy. I am going to the top because of my craziness. I am so passionate about this. I do want to make a shit ton of money. As soon as I started to own that and make that my messaging, people who were the same were like, oh, me too. And then it's like, oh, cool. So now we're on the same mission. And I feel like that was the biggest thing that really sparked that fire in me, was realizing the more in my power and the more in my truth that I am, the more people that I can actually help as a byproduct. So that's what got me here.
I love that. And I absolutely agree. I just had I made a few mental notes. So first of all, about waiting for the right time or
Hmm.
not really following your true passions. What I have found is that, let's say you wait, you have this dream of starting a business or scaling your business or shifting, and you're not doing it, and it takes like a year from the moment you had that idea until you did it. I find that you're not only set back a year, you're actually set back a lot longer, because during that year that you didn't make that move and you didn't make that shift, you are gaining even more limiting beliefs as to how you cannot do it. You are basically, if we're talking about it on like a spiritual level, you are getting further and further away from your soul pull career and business. So the longer you wait, you're not even set back that year or two, you're set back much longer. And it's going to take you much longer after that to get back into that passion and what you actually want to do. So I am all for like big moves. So what would you say, was there a moment when you decided to shift from fitness coaching, which was wildly successful, to business coaching? Is there any specific moment that you remember, any specific bold moves that you made?
Okay. So this is one that no one likes to hear, but I was shit scared. And I think what people kind of assume is like, okay, well, I'll wait until I have the courage. I'll wait until I have the conviction to be able to do it. Right? But the courage is how you walk hand in hand with fear. The courage is not, I'll wait until I have this like false sense of confidence and false sense of belief, or I'll wait until the external evidence arrives so that it gives me permission to do that thing. That is not conviction. That is not courageous. That is self-sabotage. That's self-sabotage in disguise. And it's very much, it comes from a victim mentality of, I need somebody to take me there. And it's no one's, it's not anyone's fault. Like I've done this myself. I've been here before, but it's like there is an inner child version of you that is waiting to be recognized before you allow yourself to liberate yourself. And so when it came to even me making that big decision, I think energetically I'd already decided before I actually put it out into the world. So I had written in my notes app for at least a year before, when I get to this point, I will launch my business coaching. When I get to this point, I will do this. And it was like I was just waiting for that permission. I was waiting for the permission. I was waiting for the validation of, okay, when we've hit a certain number, then you are qualified, quote unquote, to offer business coaching. And then obviously, because I didn't really like and feel aligned with what I was doing, I was self sabotaging. I wasn't following through on my word. I wasn't following through on my promises. And I wasn't trying to grow that business. So obviously, it didn't grow because I didn't want it to grow. So it was like this perpetual cycle of waiting for something that was never going to happen, living in this anticipating energy of like, oh no, but one day, one day, one day. And when we decided to move to Dubai, that's when I ripped the band aid off, because I thought, fresh start, you get to have almost like an energetic reset by moving somewhere new. You're already doing something bold and courageous by packing up, leaving everything behind. We've got two suitcases. We packed up our 3-bedroom house. We've got two suitcases, sold everything we owned. You're already doing a big ballsy move. You may as well do them together. And hand on heart, as soon as I started making bigger, ballsier moves, it became easier to make bigger, ballsier moves. Like you said, the longer you wait, for that permission, the more you actually damage your own self-trust and weaken and dampen who you actually are, because it's like, "Oh, but I can't, but I can't, but I can't, but I can't." Or maybe you'll change niches and start to shift, but then you pull back and you don't fully go all in as that self-protection mechanism of like, but when I get the evidence, like, no, the evidence isn't going to come because you are not being the person that is going to get that level of evidence. So the big ballsy moves really were just seeing it for what it was, deciding that I would walk hand in hand with the fear and be brave, like bravery over conviction, everybody, because it's okay to be afraid. It's delusional to think that it's going to be easy, and doing it anyway. And I'm not saying that from a pedestal place of just do it, but genuinely the if you keep delaying the actions that you want to take until it feels safe, it's never going to feel safe. That your nervous system has to be stretched. You rise to that level and then we stretch again. Playing it safe is actually very, very dangerous because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, playing it safe just keeps you small. That's what I always tell my clients. If you want to expand, you have to be scared. If you're not scared, you're not doing it right. So, what were some beliefs that you had to let go of to get to where you are now?
What a great question. There were so many. A lot of them were around. I will be so honest with everybody on this podcast because I feel like everyone needs to hear it. Beliefs that I had to let go of were that I was already good at what I was doing. So you have to be a beginner. And I kind of came in again. I had what, like 4 years of experience of a six-figure coaching business. I thought I was really good at messaging. I thought I was really good at branding. I thought I was really good at XYZ. And so I was stubborn to learning. So what I would do for a really, really long time, and I'm going to be so real and raw because I hope it gives somebody the lesson that I needed to have, is that I would invest in spaces. So I would invest in mentorship. I would invest in different programs, but I would not apply and integrate because my ego had me believing that I already know this stuff. Like, oh, this, yeah, no, that's basic, right? And so I have really had to let go of the belief that I had it all figured out because actively to myself, I didn't. And I wasn't good at the things that I thought I was. And that's a really, really powerful reflection for us to be able to go, maybe I'm just not as good as I think I am at this thing. And without making it mean anything about you, but really letting go of this attachment to having it all figured out or being right was so helpful. That was a really big belief that changed a lot for me, was realizing like, hey, you're probably just not as good as you think you are. Another belief that I had to let go of was definitely around shame. It was around the shame of judgment. I had to let go of a team member in my fitness company. I've had to let go of clients that felt stretchy. That felt really painful because it felt like I was leaving them behind and that I was ditching them. And that again, there's a lot of shame of that. Like I really feel awful about doing this even though it's within everybody's highest service for me to do it, but it's like there was shame that came with that. There was fear, there was doubt. And these are the things that nobody talks about. This is the stuff that is really the unspoken conversation of how do you stay convicted? How do you stay in your power as you're navigating these things? I think when it comes to beliefs, a really big belief a lot of people have is like as soon as they make the big move, that's it, challenges are over, right? Like as soon as you shift the niche, cool, everything's going to start working out in your favor. And the reason my mastermind is called Expand is I love the word expand because to me, it represents every single time you go through an expansion, it's going to be disguised in challenges. It's not going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel like, what the fuck is the point of me doing this? I don't know who I am. I don't know if this is going to work out. But when you hold it, that is where you expand. That is where you evolve into the person who can get to that next level. And for me, like, and for everybody listening, some of you just need the permission to like go through the shitstorm and stay strong regardless, and to come out on the other side knowing that you've learned the lessons, and to see a challenge and have like these crazy eyes of like, yeah, because I know I'm going to get through this. Like, I know I'm going to be a bigger, better version of me. I know there's an incredible lesson to come on the other side of this, and that it is probably going to feel more uncomfortable than you could ever imagine. And that's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. That discomfort is a very sign that you are growing.
Yeah, they say new level, new devil, and that is so
Exactly.
true. You can, I don't know, have money issues and then you can work through them and start making more money. But then as you scale your business and let's say you double your income, suddenly all those old beliefs creep in again in a different way. So there's always, whenever you step into a new level, you're going to have new fears, new limiting beliefs to deal with. But that is why, as you said, it's so important to have mentors and to have community that you can talk to
Mm.
about these things, people who are either on the same level as you if it's in the community or a mentor who's been through what you're going through and can help you through it. Doing this alone is so miserable and basically impossible. So, I want us to kind of talk now about the behind the scenes of your business and your success. So, you've built a business that feels and looks really embodied and really aligned with who you are. What does it actually look like day to day to keep growing at this level that you are growing?
That's a great question. And, I feel like when you are a multi-dimensional woman, so you have multiple different elements of you, multiple different aspects, you're like, I'm this, and then I'm this, and then this. Like I'm a lot of different things all at once. And because of that, my business evolves really, really quickly. And I evolve really, really quickly. And my leadership evolves really, really quickly. And so the behind the scenes of that is definitely a lot of integration and just being with myself. So my calendar is very, very empty intentionally. There is not a lot of calls. I have, two calls today. I have no calls tomorrow. I have one call on Thursday. And I keep it that way on purpose because I know that, again, going back to the vision element and the embodiment element, my biggest, like my most important values are freedom and fun and enjoyment. I love all of those things. So I have to know that I have freedom to change things in my business. I have the freedom to, if something doesn't feel aligned, go, okay, cool. We're not going to hold shame about it. We're just going to change it. And so that requires a lot of space. And what people don't realize is that all of the little micro things that you do on a day-to-day basis are taking up mental energy. They are taking up space within your mind. Micro things, even just as simple as, oh, okay, I need to reply to that client. Like all of these things are consuming you on a day-to-day basis. So behind the scenes really is, it's very, very similar to what you see online because I like to just be the same because I'm a very direct person. I am a funny person, I think, at least. I am a kind person. And so in my content, I really make sure that that is across because I have a very low tolerance for bullshit. I will call people out. I will make sure that you are led to your highest level because, like you said earlier, I feel as mentors that we have to go through experiences so that we can lead from it. And I feel like every challenge that I have in my business or every challenge that I have in my personal life, literally 6 months later, a client is like, I have this problem. I'm like, you're not going to fucking believe this. Like, I literally went through that exact same thing. And I've reframed challenges now to be like, well, cool, because I know this is going to be a lesson that a client's going to have. You have problems with your house. Cool. I've had that lesson. You've had to outgrow certain people and have people say rude things about you. Cool. I've been there, done that. Here's how I handled it. Here's how I would have handled it differently now. And I feel as though when you can learn to see challenges from that perspective, it really helps you lean into that grounded energy. Behind the scenes, what I do on a day-to-day basis is I wake up, I drink my coffee, I exercise, I get myself into an activated state, I create content, I do lots of money moves. So I'm planning out the next launches, I'm doing the next things, I'm delivering my clients. And it is very much a case of that's my life. But, growing my business is my biggest passion right now. That's my sole focus is I really, really want to, and I will turn this into a global movement that wakes the world up and it really just helps women see what they are capable of and how to build businesses that are an extension of them, not what they think they need. And so my life is very dedicated to that. And I'm not afraid to say, like, I will work 6 days a week, 7 days a week because I fucking love it. I might be working at a beach club, but I'm still doing the do. But what you see online is what you get. Like, yes, I will take lots of time off to go and sit by the pool because you live in Dubai, you kind of have to. But equally, my values are really deeply rooted in deep service, transformation of people, and helping somebody become their best. So that's always at the forefront is how do I be my best? How do I lead myself energetically? How do I lead myself in my mentorship, in my spaces, so that I can be the most powerful version of me? And therefore, because I know all of my clients are a mirror to me, so that they also lead from that energy.
Yeah, I love that. And I couldn't relate more to that feeling of just wanting to work on your business 24/7. You mentioned earlier at the beginning, you took more of a feminine, soft approach, and then you really stepped into that woman who just loves her business and wants to succeed and doesn't care. But what I love about your approach, and I am the same, is yes, we hustle, but it doesn't feel like hustle. We
It
enjoy it.
doesn't. Yes.
Yeah, we enjoy it and we do it in a feminine way. So
Yes.
it's not about don't sleep, don't
No.
eat. We do what feels aligned, and that's when success happens naturally and in a fun way. Because I don't know about you, but when I was fitness coaching, I hated it. When you don't feel aligned, even if you are making money and you have the clients, you don't enjoy it. When you do something that you enjoy, you can hustle 24/7 and
Right.
nothing is going to feel like you're working. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so that leads me to my next question, which is what are some of your non-negotiables right now in terms of mindset, energy work, or even like habits and structure?
Ooh. So a huge priority for me is activation, right? Because I know when I am on fire, when I am obsessed with the work that I do, when I'm just like on a whole nother level energetically, I can create and I can impact so much more. So for me, and this is a very money gen behavior, but if I stop and if I try and like just do nothing, it drains me more. And I feel like if I stop, I'm like a car or like a go-kart, and now you have to like rev my engines back up, and it takes so much energy to get me moving again. Whereas, what's the saying of like, and things that are in motion or a constant state of, I don't know, the
I know
it's
what you're
it's
thinking about.
scientific. It's scientific to do with something energy that emotion stays in motion or something like that, right? And I need to stay in motion. So whatever that may be, there has to be motion. So that might mean on a weekend, like on a weekend, me and Ollie, we love to do spin. So we'll, wake up, we'll have our coffee, we'll go to spin, and then we might spend the afternoons like doing a little bit of work if we feel like it. But I like to stay constantly tapped into my potential, constantly tapped into who I know I can become, which means constantly investing in myself, constantly putting myself in bigger spaces, constantly asking myself, am I actually making moves aligned with my higher self right now? And another
Mm.
huge thing I do, on a daily basis, my non-negotiables is like state, sell, serve. State, sell, serve. So you get yourself in the right energy. You sell every single day because you're a freaking business and you want to make money, right? You have to sell every day if you want to make sales every day. Selling is service. Like people can only get the transformation through the transaction. So state, then we sell, and then we serve. Then we go in and we make sure that your clients are getting the best transformations possible. We're facilitating that. We're thinking ahead of like, what do they actually need? And we're leading ourselves powerfully. When I see people not necessarily thriving in their businesses, it's often because they're acting from a very stop start movement. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to launch this. And then they hide from their Instagrams for a week. And they're like, I just need a rest or I just need to pull back. But what that does for your audience is that it gives the perspective of inconsistency. It's like she is on and off, so why would I work with her? Because I don't know if it's going to be on and off with that. So it's like that brand consistency, that brand coherence, the really just you showing up for you. What else do I do? I do a shit ton of mindset work as well. Like if a belief comes in, I will drop everything to make sure that I clear it. And I'm not saying I sit on the belief, I do an hour's worth of limiting belief rewiring, but it might just be like, okay, let's go through a little bit of a parts work and let's see where this is coming from. What can we do differently? Let's move on. It's very quick because I focus on motion. I focus on moving forwards. I don't fixate on the things that are holding me back. And I do think that this is a bit of a problem among female entrepreneurs that step into the mindset realm is we start to overanalyze everything, like make everything about as a block. And I heard a really great quote a few months back. And it's like the block is that you have a block. You don't have a block. Like you're good. Like you can move forwards. You can choose to see things differently, right? And that for me is really important. So state self serve is like the anthem to my life. I take action in alignment with who I know I'm meant to be, the results that I desire, and they happen. They might not happen instantaneously, but they have no choice but to happen because of the laws of the universe. And I trust that when I am being my fully embodied self and I'm living my truth and I'm following the vision, that eventually, or even maybe tomorrow, I don't know, I will always get what I want. And that they're just beliefs that I live by 24/7.
Yeah, I love that. I basically live by the, is it a motto? Just feel the fear and do it anyway. I have
Yeah.
never let a block or a fear stop me from doing something that I want to do. I'm not going to say I always go 100% in. Sometimes could be something that I have to process, but equally, if I ever wanted to do something, yeah, I would just do it, even if I'm worried about judgment or is it going to work. When you're fully embodied, when you know success is inevitable, you go in and you do it, and eventually you will succeed. It's having that self trust and that determination. So, how do you personally know when something's out of alignment in your business or life? And what do you do about it when that happens?
Such a great question. So, I think for me, I stop enjoying it, right? So again, back to the values thing. If I don't feel, oh my God, this is so exciting right now, I know for me that that's often a sign because for many gens, our decision making often comes from our sacral. So we know we get the feeling, the gut feeling, especially as women. It's so strong. Like listen to your fucking gut, and if something feels a little bit off, or I have a lot of resistance to showing up, and I'm not talking about like the natural resistance that you're going to get when you go to your next level. That's always inevitable. Don't ignore the resistance. But if it's something that comes up a lot and I maybe finding myself not wanting to do it over and over and over again, I will explore it. So maybe, for example, there's certain offers that I'm like, actually, that doesn't feel that aligned right now. I don't feel like I am getting a lot out of this in terms of energy, right? And when I say getting a lot out, I don't mean I'm getting the most amount of money. What I really mean is that I don't feel like I'm having a load of fun delivering this. And I don't feel like the people inside are having the most fun receiving this. And so that for me is a really, really big sign. And then I'll go through like, okay, what's this about? Do I need to shift the offer? Do I need to add in new delivery points? Do I need to change the price point? Like, is there something wrong with the price point that's not energetically matching? Is it bringing in the wrong people through my messaging? Is my messaging off? Is it just the offer in itself? What's the intention behind this? And I really like, I go through it with a fine tooth fucking comb because for me, if something doesn't feel fun and I don't feel like I'm having enjoyment from it, there's something that needs to change. This is like you said when with the fitness coaching piece, when you are just trying to hustle through that and you're just trying to go head down, just like drink another coffee, just get that shit done, just to get through it, that is you out of alignment. And like you said, you're not going to enjoy it. It's going to feel like a drag. Whereas when something feels really fun, when it feels really enjoyable, when you're getting the most out of it, you could work on, one of your projects like for hours and hours on end without watching the time go by. When it feels hard and you're not enjoying it and you're out of alignment, it's the different energy of like, one thing that could have taken you 5 minutes will take you 3 hours. And it's like the time kind of flips on its head of how long that takes you because of that alignment piece.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. How much of your business growth would you say has come from strategy versus identity and energetics?
I feel like they're both intertwined. Like,
Hmm.
for example, the strategy is going to be based on your identity. So,
Hmm.
if you identify as somebody that isn't, if you identified as somebody who is struggling, or you identified as somebody who earns this amount, you're always going to have your strategy in alignment with that. Like, your strategy is going to be a direct mirror to it. Equally, you could have the best strategy in the world, but if your identity is off, then it's gonna have the same problem. But what I often believe is like it's the identity first piece of if you don't see yourself as a big deal, you're not gonna price yourself as a big deal. You're gonna hold your offers back. You're gonna charge like £100 for like a month of coaching because that's what you believe that you are inherently worthy of. So for me, it goes how you see yourself against state, then the sell, and that's the strategy, and then the serve, right? They go hand in hand. I don't believe you can have one without the other. Your strategy is, of course, incredibly, incredibly important. And I'm a very big strategy girl. Like I love all things strategy. I love marketing, messaging, content, offers, all the things, right? But if you don't believe that you're able to charge a certain amount, or you don't think that people are going to buy, watch how your conviction shows up in the offer. Watch how you avoid setting up the emails for when somebody's purchased. Watch how you avoid making sure that your onboarding system is clear because you don't actually inherently believe that somebody's going to buy, right? So it's like your identity comes first, and then the strategy allows you to take that like X. But if your strategy is bad, then again, it's going to be this like self perpetual loop of, I don't see myself as somebody that's worth a lot of money. So I'm going to take aligned action with that. And I'm going to have a strategy that's like subpar. I'm just going to invest in what feels safe because that feels comfortable. And I don't think that I'm at that level yet. So I'm going to just do the same things that I've always done. And then you're going to get the same results. And then that's going to reinforce the identity. So they're like a 50-50 split for me. It's like, do, 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 because one can't go without the other.
Yeah, the way I teach my clients is almost like a pyramid. So if you imagine like at the bottom is your core beliefs, beliefs that you have about what's possible for you and rules that just govern the universe. Above that is self-concept, so the way that you see yourself and what you are capable of. And then above that is habits and strategy. So habits are definitely important, but if you only do the strategy, but your self-concept and your core beliefs are not in alignment, it's just it has no ground to sit on, right? So the habits will eventually just fall off,
Mhm.
whether that's business, fitness, whatever it is you do. So obviously habits are important, but I always tell my clients, we first have to make sure that your core beliefs and your self-image match who you want to be and what you want to achieve. So we are almost done. I just have two more questions. So what do you wish more women knew about creating success that actually feels good?
I wish more women knew that the thing that they shame themselves for is the thing that will make them money, is the thing that will help them succeed. So I spent so long like beating myself up and berating myself for having so many ideas. And everyone would say, like, just fucking follow the plan, Evie. Like, stop getting shiny object syndrome. You don't need XYZ. Just like stick to the DMs and stick to this and da 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 da. And I really shamed myself for that for a really, really long time. And I shame myself for wanting to look nice. I shame myself for wanting more for myself. And there was a lot of really disapproval from myself because I won't say because of what other people told me, because obviously you control how you perceive everything. But there was a lot of just listening to the outside noise, and it really ruined my self trust. And I wish that every woman has the ability to trust herself more, because when you trust yourself, when you'll have more ability to follow your dreams. You have more ability to follow your dreams, meaning that you are able to take aligned action with that, with your habits, your identity, your actions, your investments. When you do that, you're going to succeed, right? And it, for me, it really comes back down to like how you see yourself, just like you said, how you see yourself, how you trust in yourself. The fact that you were able to trust yourself to pivot your career, to go all in, and you didn't hold back. You didn't go, oh, can I do it? Can I not? Can I do it? Can I not? You were just like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take action alongside it. It feels scary, but I'm okay with that fear because I know that I trust myself, and I know that I am a woman who will make it work regardless. And you really just like valuing your own opinion above everybody else's. I know we had this conversation last week, but like valuing your own trust and not putting anybody on a pedestal, not going, she must have the secret, but like knowing, okay, I have the secret because I'm the fucking one. Somebody else might be able to give me the skills and the strategy to be able to facilitate that or hold space for me to expand my energy in a way that I didn't know was possible. But ultimately it's on me, and it's me. It's always you. It's you are the one. You are the one that will do the work. You are the one that has to evolve your identity. You can borrow it, you can model it for somebody else's, but ultimately is always on you. And that level of self-trust is so powerful because you realize that you can stop outsourcing your power to everybody else now, and you can reclaim it, and you can just claim yourself as the one without needing somebody else to validate you and go, yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's what I love about your coaching too, is that you are very good at mirroring to women what's possible for them. But equally, you always say, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You do not force anyone to follow a step-by-step strategy that you write for them. You see what feels good for them and you work with them to make that happen. And I think that is so rare in the mentoring and coaching space. So absolutely love that. So one final question. What's one belief or even affirmation that you're currently holding as you step into your next level?
You're asking great questions. Okay. Let me have a think because I literally wrote some down this morning. A lot of it for me is around it's already done. Like it's already done. So now I just need to match my actions every single moment of the day with that. I, if you have the belief that it's already done, like whatever your income target is, whatever, even if you're listening, if you're like, I've got a fitness goal, like cool, match the belief that's already done and start asking yourself, who would you be in every single micro moment and every single micro decision? And that's really why, like you just mentioned, and we just spoke about, that's really why I want to mirror back to women their power because ultimately I can't build your business for you and I will never claim to, which is why I don't say you have to do it my way because firstly, it pedestals me, but it creates a codependency where you need me. And I don't want you to need me because this is your fucking business. Like, incredible. This is your business. You have this incredible thing. I can help you, but this is you. And it's the same with if I believe that it was done, would I value somebody else's opinion over my own? Would I value somebody else's gut instinct over my own? I'd take it, but would I use it as gospel? No. So if you tap back into your own wisdom every single day, because we know that our wisdom goes back beyond just the however many years you've been on this planet, like your body knows so much more than you think from all of the generations, all of the collective consciousness, like it knows so much. And if you tap back into that to yourself and really ask yourself, like, okay, like if I believe this was who I was and I truly held that vision of this goal being done, and you ask yourself, what do I need to do? Like, who do I need to be? And you'll get these little insights. You'll get these little, I like to, I've actually got a meditation on this. It's a quantum leap hypnosis, right? Of like, go and speak to your future self and ask her, what do I need to do? Like, because your body holds that wisdom. You hold that wisdom. What you desire is already yours, just in a different field. And it's about you being able to match that level to bring that into your 3D reality because it's already happening elsewhere, to bring it into your 3D and calibrate that energetically and physically to that level. And what I really, really love doing is every single day strengthening that belief. I think a lot of people will do the belief work once, they're like, cool. And then 3 days later, we're back to like the same habits and patterns. And they don't realize you have to pattern this into your body of being able to believe in yourself wholeheartedly in every single realm.
I love that. Evie, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your journey, your wisdom, and your energy. This conversation has honestly been so powerful, and I think the listeners will really resonate. So, before we wrap up, can you let everyone know where they can find you, how they can work with you, and what you've got coming up that we should keep an eye out for?
Yes, of course. I've loved this conversation. So, best place to find me is my Instagram. My handle is it's Evie Dawson. And there's also a free feminine sales masterclass. So, if you want to check that out, you want to learn how to sell with your feminine energy, you want to learn how to sell in a way that aligns to you, then absolutely go and check that out. Or find my YouTube. My YouTube is popping off right now. It's Evie Dawson again. So take a look out for those for all things strategy, energetics, and blowing up your business. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Bye.